AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. NBA trade season is different today. That bomb is way too long. Oh boy, they said you was ducking us yesterday because we lost.
Ball suckers. I was ducking. I've been ducking all day too.
We live.
Big fling. Never the little one.
And of course, the NBA correct J Trigger, man. Oh man, it doesn't stop. They said the trade deadline's on Thursday. They act like, man, it's going out of style. Holy cannoli, let me pull this up. You gotta put the tweets up. We got official tissue out here, baby. Bubba. De'Aaron Fox has officially been traded finally after weeks of rumors from the Kings to the San Antonio Spurs. He will be partnering with Victor Wembanyama, Big Wemby. The Spurs will send Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and draft compensation, inclusive of the Kings repossessing their 2031 pick swap. This does not mention that Zach LaVine went to the Kings, though, because that's what happened, right?
That is what happened.
Yeah.
How dare you? What's your name? Eric Zung? Get your life in order, Eric. You disrespecting our live like that, Eric. Big moves. Oh, boy, let's go to the panel. What you thinking? Zach LaVine to the Kings, Vassell, young buck, Jeremy Sohan. What you thinking? Zach LaVine to the Kings over there, and then you got De'Aaron Fox. Finally got his wish out of Sacramento with the big dog, Big Wemby. What are you thinking?
Well, me and Flea was just talking offline, and when we first heard the news about Fox wanting out, and everybody had the destinations they would like him to go. Remember, we heard Orlando, Houston, but we was kind of the first ones. My knowledge was like, yo, you pair him up with Wemby, that'd be something beautiful. I'm being honest. Zach LaVine in Sacramento, you got him in what's my man name?
Sabonis.
No, that just went over there.
Vassell.
DeRozan. Yeah, you got this is basically like the same player. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I figure now Sacramento's probably gonna try to make a move, probably get DeRozan out of there. I like Zach LaVine and Sabonis together. Like I said, I think Zach LaVine is very underrated, but that's like a splash in the ocean. De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. I love it. They lost some good players, but I love it because now San Antonio can start to build around two very good players. And they could maybe have a Parker Duncan all over again. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win 4 championships and they're going to go to the playoffs for the next 20 years, but just the excitement of San Antonio basketball, that city, that town, I love it. You have two players that's young, in Fox and Wemby, that can grow together. Those are two guys, Fabian, that you can definitely build around. Great move. The Sacramento Kings, I think we all feel the same way. They never been right since Chris Webber in them. Let's be honest. I don't know if they're ever going to get it right. Like I said, Zach LaVine over there with DeMar DeRozan. I don't know how that's going to work. But wow. Today is crazy. And I'll let Flea cook. I love De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. Out of all the moves, I think that was the move that made most sense. I love it.
What you thinking, Flea?
Wow. Extremely excited to see guys being a little ballsy and making moves, right? Being aggressive and doing some things to shake some things up and try to put their teams in better position. In terms of the Spurs, right, getting a lead guard in De'Aaron Fox, I love that for them. I love that they showing that they're gonna build around Wemby. They showing Wemby that they invested in him quickly, right? Second season, they showing him, hey, we're gonna bring a guy in here that is a all-star level point guard, a guy that could really put the ball in the basket, a guy that's gonna look for you. And it's a guy that he's gonna need going forward to win in this league. You're gonna need that type of guard to win in this league. So I think it's a huge win for San Antonio. They get the opportunity to keep Castle, right? Castle is not in this deal, and I think that's huge for them. Now you can pair Castle and De'Aaron in the backcourt. Now Castle gets off the ball. He doesn't have to be a point guard, which they were kind of forcing him to be a little bit early on. And then you just go from there. You just go from there with San Antonio. They right on the cusp of things, right? They like borderline 500, right? They end up playing, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, this type of move maybe bumps them into 7, 8, 6 area. Who knows? So I love the move for them. I'm a little disappointed for Zach LaVine. I feel like he goes from a bad situation to a worse situation in Sacramento. Them not really having a real direction in where they're going. I would want him to be on a contender to really like be able to show his talent. Like AllBall was saying, he's underrated. I think he gets that smell on his name that he's not a winning player because I don't think he's ever been in a real position to be in a winning position, right? He hasn't. Chicago wasn't a real winning position, and I don't think at this present moment Sacramento is either. That move is set up to make another move. I don't think they're gonna go forward going with LaVine and DeRozan and Sabonis. I don't think that's the thought going forward. There's got to be something in the bag going forward for that. I don't know what that next move is for them, but something else has to happen. And then, you know, Chicago got back scraps. They got back Kevin Waiter. They got back Trey Jones. And then they got back Zach Collins. So Chicago is obviously hitting the reset button and about to figure out what they're going to do. But huge win for the Spurs, in my opinion. And, you know, I just love what's going on right now.
The first person I thought of was you because it was like, so what was the point of firing Mike Brown if De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown were beefing? That made no sense. So you got rid of both of them. That was dumb. No matter what we think of what Doug Christie could be, but I do love all of these moves for Sacramento. They got deep. They basically took the starting lineup of the Bulls, replaced Vucevic with Sabonis. DeRozan's there, Zach LaVine is there, Vassell's off the bench. I like this team for Sacramento. Will they be as good as they were 3 years ago? I don't know. But the Spurs got better. Like they both got better. We rarely see this, and we're not as confused about the trade we're going to talk about in a second with the Luka trade, but this makes sense for both sides. Fox didn't want to be there. It's been talked about for weeks, so the shock isn't there. And of course, you know, the super combo, big man, little man.
But comment on this though, Fabian. I want, as you're going, comment on this. In the last few seasons, Sacramento has figured out a way to give up 2 all-star point guards. They don't have Halliburton anymore now, and they don't have Fox. So what does that really say about what direction are they really going in?
Well, they're in the same position. We'll talk about the Mavericks in a second. They lost Brunson and Luka, right? In terms with that. But it proves to me that I was right about Halliburton. They just won 11 in a row. You could surround the team with Halliburton. That's what they did. They took on his style. Sacramento can't take on De'Aaron Fox's style. And the Spurs are not going to take on De'Aaron Fox's style. That's Wemby's team. So I think they're headed in the right direction because I don't think, you could run 8-9-man rotation legit all game long with them. Sabonis with LaVine, I love that. He never played with somebody like that before. And he's already familiar with DeRozan's game. I love it. Who is their point guard? Monk?
No, Monk is not a point guard though. Like, I mean, I don't know who's, you know,
it's crowded in that position now.
Right.
Real quick, old boy. I think just like every other team needs like a hybrid point guard, Sabonis is kind of like their point guard in terms of getting rid of the ball or whatever. Like he's gonna run the offense. Kings projected starting lineup is Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. The Spurs starting lineup is De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Victor Wembanyama. Real quick, ball, and I'll pass it back to you. if the Spurs are serious, you're gonna get rid of Harrison Barnes, number one, and you definitely got to get rid of CP3. This is CP3.
Well,
You hold on real quick. You did your job. You did your job, CP3. Everywhere you go, you uplift the young bucks. They don't need you no more. CP3. I just thought about this. CP3 is like the Tom Thibodeau of point guards. Yeah, you good, but I don't know if we win it with you, big dog. Like I gotta be real.
wasn't Vassell when you first announced the trade? Vassell was in that trade, so
Yeah, I
that
thought he was in
projected.
it.
Right. So that projected starting five. I mean, for me, now thinking about it, I don't love what Sacramento is doing. I like it. It's cool. They're loading up. They got a pretty decent roster, but comparing that roster to, let's be realistic. If Kawhi Leonard is healthy, look at the Lakers, look at Dallas now, look at OKC, look at what Houston is doing. I don't see Sacramento being better than none of those teams because it's crowded. You don't have an official point guard. So it's like, I don't love the move, but I get it. I agree with what Fleet just said. I think Zach LaVine is, it's almost like nobody knows what to do with him, which I don't understand why. If I'm Chris Paul, get me to the Lakers. Something like that. But I think these moves is great. I love it for the NBA. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Real correction. The real GP. Thank you for that. The Spurs didn't lose anything. They kept Vassell and Sohan.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Wow.
Oh,
so
no.
that whoever was that first tweet is totally wrong.
And they kept the Atlanta pick.
Wow.
Oh. Nah, hold on. The Spurs, okay. Please take it back. I'll take it back. Sacramento know what the hell. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Sacramento is Sacramento. You're right, please.
So what did they give up for Fox?
For Fox? Who, the Spurs?
Right. What did they give up to get Fox?
Yeah. That's
pull up the details from either Bleacher Report, ESPN. You can pull up Shams tweets. There's a few credible spots that have
the Spurs. The Spurs get De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings get Zach LaVine, Sidney Kisiko, 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks. The Bulls get Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, and their own 2025 pick.
Wow.
Hold on.
Great. Listen, that front office in San Antonio, great effing job. Wow. And Flea, this is what me and you was talking about. Remember when I was saying teams is figuring out ways to get good players for the low.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about when it comes to being a great GM, great organization, and knowing how to shake and move. Wow, if that is legit, and San Antonio didn't give up.
Fabian looks so confused.
Bro.
How was that possible?
Because all I've been saying is conspiracy hat. I gotta get my tinfoil hat. Rudy Gobert doesn't deserve 4 defensive player of the years. Wemby's the #1 pick. Luka's a big time superstar out here. He got traded to LA. This is an international European movement. They're basically giving De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. This is not a crazy trade. LaVine wanted out of Chicago. Chicago's in shambles. You can't say perfect storm, but I was starting to think like for the Lakers to be able to get Luka, and basically before we get to that subject, all I could think about is AllBall saying, yo, Zion doesn't want to be in New Orleans. Ja don't want to be in Memphis. Ant-Man doesn't want to be in Minnesota. They want to go to LA and New York. Everybody does for whatever reason. But this is the NBA giving the Spurs a chance, small market team that's not New York, LA. And I'm a little conflicted now. Like, what do you think about that, AllBall? Like, they're doing the small market team a favor for the short run?
Well, hey, Flea, I always put my conspiracy hat on. What I always say, our Knicks, they never do us no favors. Listen, listen, I'm telling it how it is. They never do us no favors. Spurs, listen, we're going to throw Wembanyama in your lap, and then now we're going to throw De'Aaron Fox in your lap. Listen, man, it might be true, it may not be true, but Flea, me and you talk a lot. How is teams able to pull these moves off without giving up the farm. De'Aaron Fox is an all-star caliber point guard. He's probably top 10 best point guards in the league. Great player. How do you get him and don't give up basically anything? How is these things possible? How? Hold on, Fabian, because now I put this nut hat on and I say, remember, Flea, what we just talked about? You can't let Wembanyama fail.
Right.
You cannot have a talent like that in San Antonio for 15 years and you're not making the playoffs and you're not relevant. You got to remember, this kid is going to have to be on primetime TV, playing in primetime games, Christmas games, big holiday games. So, you know, maybe the NBA is going, we cannot let this young man fail. We got to throw something in their lap. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that is far-fetched. I really don't.
Flea, read that comment out loud.
Imagine that Atlanta pick ends up being the first.
The Spurs are in super Flea. I thought they gave up. I don't know why I thought that. I thought they kept because all I was thinking about was Castle, as a matter of fact. You got Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox. You got what the Kings wanted.
Yeah.
You kept Sohan and Vassell, bro.
Yo, that team, oh my God.
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good going forward.
Fox is a closer.
Yeah, they're gonna be good going forward. They got at some point Wemby is gonna be the best player in the league. At some point.
We expect him to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? At some point, I think he'll be the best. So that they put that together quite nicely. Quite nicely. They put that together. We spent the first 16 minutes of this show talking about this De'Aaron Fox trade. Respectfully, yes. Respectfully. I don't even do segues. I let my brother handle that. But there's some other business that we got to get to. So
listen,
please get to that. Get to that, Ray.
But Flea, where would I be without my two cold days? Keeping their eyes on the prize, baby Bubba. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching a big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie Winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win it to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Cook up some hot takes with your friends and win real money for the big game. And when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. This week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at the football board and selecting Pat Mahomes for more than 230 passing yards and Saquon Barkley for more than a touchdown. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Come on,
you know what
everybody.
we're here for.
Hit that like button. Share, like, subscribe. Hit that like button, y'all. And keep your eyes on the prize.
Y'all got me going crazy. The Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers have kept their eyes on the prize, apparently. A lot of people feel like the Dallas Mavericks haven't. And, of course, Luka Doncic got traded to the Dallas. Luka Doncic from the Mavericks to the Lakers. Anthony Davis from the Lakers to the Dallas Mavericks. We didn't get AllBall's response to this. I want to go there first. AllBall, how did you react to this? What was going on? Because we were live last night. So it was crazy. We were all like in disbelief.
Let me break it down quick as possible. Watching the Lakers game, sick to my stomach. Can't stand the Lakers. Can't stand LeBron. Everybody knows this. So anytime we get to play them, Flea, I'm looking forward. Have my plate, my ice water with my lemon. We locked in. Getting our ass kicked. About four minutes left in the game. Once we was down 12 or something, I just seen we ain't gonna win this game. So I literally put my phone on D&D. I said, I'm not doing this tonight. Like that. That's the first time I've ever done that. I said, I'm not doing this tonight. I'm getting
Duck
trolled
the
all night.
smoke.
My DM, yeah, it was nasty, right? 1 in the morning, my phone rings. I hear it vibrating. I don't know how it did that. It's on D&D. Nevertheless, it rings
Double
the
call.
third.
Got
Right.
a double call.
Okay, listen. Right, because it first missed, then it was a double call. I look. Big shout out my brother, DJ Webstar, Chicken Noodle Soup. That's family. He go, yo, you sleep? I go, yo, bro. He a diehard Knicks fan. I said, yo, bro, I couldn't take it. He said, nah, get your ass up. Luka just got traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. I get up. What? He hit me with the never say I ain't never did nothing for you, nigga. All ball suckers and hung up the phone. Bro, I've been up ever since because I still don't believe it.
Right.
I've been up ever since. I'm not even exaggerating. This trade might be the biggest trade in NBA history. Now we know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got traded. Willis Reed, like we know there's been some big trades, but when was the last time a star got traded for a star? This trade,
Mid-season.
right? This trade, the magnitude of this trade, just made the Lakers the hottest commodity in sports, not in basketball, in sports. When Luka and LeBron is both on the court in purple and yellow, that is going to be a sight to see. But let me say this, Fleet. People are sleeping on the move that Dallas made. I think Dallas got the better of the situation. If we're talking short term. Now, long term, Lakers to me got the better situation because once LeBron retires, the cap space that's going to be freed up. The Lakers will be able to sign another super duper star to pair up with Luka, a la Zion, Giannis, Ja, Ant-Man. Like they're gonna have to pick up the litter. But I think Dallas got the best of the situation. They get to keep their two bigs, and now you bringing in a guy that's the best two-way player in the game. And I think that's what Dallas was missing. And now Kyrie can be Kyrie. He doesn't have to share the ball with Luka. Listen, man, I think this just shook up the sports world, and it evens out the West now. OKC is not the clear-cut favorites no more. By record, they are. But if we're talking, who would you pick in the playoffs? If everyone's fully healthy, and you got Dallas and OKC, or you got OKC and LA, and LA is able to play the game of basketball like they looked against us yesterday, and you add a Luka to that, that just changed the trajectory of the whole NBA, Flea. Some teams in the East, our Knicks, there's some moves that got to be made. Listen, man, the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks, if they can stay fully healthy. Did y'all see Kevin Durant's reaction?
Yeah. Come on now.
I'll pass it to Flea after this. All those mid-level teams, the Memphis, the Clippers, Phoenix, and you know who I feel bad for, fellas? The Houston Rockets. Because as good as they are, your chances of now going deep into the playoffs with what the Lakers and Dallas just did, listen, bro, LeBron did it again. First he said, I'm going to Miami. Then he came to Cleveland and shook up the world. Then he went to LA and shook up the world. And then now you get Luka. Flea, he did it again, bro. He did it again. And this is my last point. Fabian says this all the time. This is why Kevin Durant would never be LeBron James. Wow. Wow. But I love the move. I love it for the NBA and I love it for both teams. I love it. I love it.
We can get to, I want to talk specifically before we break down the, like what we think about that, Flea. AllBall said something that was crazy. This is the most shocking trade ever, easily. I seen all the insiders, every single player, everybody was shocked. Everybody. And what was there a bigger moment in basketball history than this? I want to just go with the last 35 years. That's when I started watching basketball. It was 35 years ago. The first game I ever saw was Magic versus Jordan in the finals. And I said, yo, Magic is taller than Michael Jordan. I thought Michael Jordan was the biggest person ever. And I'm watching, and sadly, all ball, I think that was the first biggest moment in basketball history in my lifetime was when we found out Magic had HIV. It was shocking in the other direction.
It was a big moment.
It was like, oh shit, Magic's gonna die.
Mm.
And it shocked because that was outside of sports. That was everybody with Magic.
That stopped the world for a bit. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You're older than us, all ball. No disrespect. I got more gray hairs than you. But how did that feel like for y'all when you're a little bit older than us, understood a little bit more what this meant? I was 9 years old.
I was young too.
Fabian, it was scary. And it definitely was a moment in sports history that was crazy. It was crazy, man. It was like, what? Because certain people, we look at them as superheroes, as if they're gonna live forever, and as if they can't do nothing wrong or nothing wrong can happen to them. And that moment in sports was just like, wow. And like you said, at that time, there was no, you didn't think there was a cure, could be a cure. You didn't think someone can live with it. You just automatically set up that person's going to die. So, it was shocking. And it was scary, but it definitely was a part of sports history that was like, wow. And then when you had guys like Karl Malone and how he reacted to it and his response, it just was like, whoa. But definitely was the magnitude of it was crazy. It was crazy.
Flea, I don't know if you remember how you felt during that moment or
no. I was super young, so my perspective was a little different. Only because I didn't have a clear understanding of what HIV or AIDS was at that time. So the only thing that you attached it to was a death sentence, right? It had that stigma to it, especially as somebody as young as I was at the time. So it was super scary. We was like, damn, Magic, as AllBall said, that superhero type figure in sports, especially in basketball. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but those are just one of the major moments throughout the last 25, 30 years. Obviously the decision, right? The decision is up there. LeBron to Miami.
Well, but I want to go in chronological
huge
order because right after the Magic, Jordan's winning the championships, he wins 3 and he retired. So that was huge. I was in Dominican Republic and it was front page news. That was major. He was worldwide. So he won, obviously, and what made the front page news also was God bless the dead. His father passed away, got murdered. So all this back to back was like, oh shit, this is like basketball is now becoming the everyday thing that we talk about. This is a part of how, football is America's sport, but we really talk about basketball every day. And these are part of the stories that made it possible. Magic, Michael Jordan retiring the first time was just, it was surreal. Crazy. Bro, he was 29.
It was crazy.
Yeah. How, remember, then there was the rumor that he was gambling and, he had to pay off the debt or whatever. It was like, he was 29 years old. Imagine who's 29 right now? Not Giannis, but I don't even know how to equate it. There's nobody. If LeBron retired at 29, it'll be insane. Insane. 29 is, even though he played in the league since 18, I don't think people understand the magnitude of that. And we're trying to compare it to Luka Doncic getting traded to the Lakers. This is how massive Luka to the Lakers is. Is Michael Jordan retiring was like, oh shit, kind of feels like that. Shocked, confused. Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta throw, because now if we going on this trajectory, on this ride, pause. I gotta throw our Knicks in there. When we got Larry Johnson, when we got Sprewell, that was huge news for us. Not saying it's the magnitude of right now. I'm not saying it's the magnitude of this or Jordan, no, but that to be a Knicks fan, Flea, you can attest. That news was huge, and we were so ecstatic. We just was like, wow, so there's so many great moments. Flea, you explain, because like you said, you remember that vividly. How did you feel when the Knicks made those trades?
Because we coming off the back of losing in the finals in 94, right? Because we thought we had an opportunity. No Mike. We beat the Bulls. We get into the, we lose to the Rockets in 7. Then in 95, we lose to Indiana, right? We lose to Indiana. They go to the conference finals against Orlando. Then in 96, I forget what happens in the 96 playoffs, but in that summer, for us to get Larry, Allen Houston, Chris Childs, and Buck Williams, all of that happened that summer. That was huge for us because we didn't know how we was going to recover from being those 90s Knicks, what kind of help Patrick is going to get, all that type of shit. And that was huge. That was huge for us, right? The basketball world, probably not so much. But as a New York Knicks fan, I remember I was young, but I was hyped. Like, you know what I mean? I know Allen Houston's probably one of my favorite players of all time. So when we got him, I was like, okay, now we getting Patrick some real help. Not John Starks.
Right. Yo, the Knicks love and the John Starks hate all in one. You can't ask for anything more. And before that was the answer to Michael Jordan actually coming back, which is even crazy. It was all crazy. And for everybody else, again, this is kind of what it felt like with Luka. It sounds crazy for all you basketball purists. I know it's Luka. I know he hasn't won a championship or anything like that, but this was shocking. And Jordan leaving and coming back, the Knicks trying to answer with Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, a couple years later, Spreewell. Yeah, it felt kind of similar. Then what I got up there also, if we're going to mention trades, the Shaq signing really to the Lakers was crazy. That was 96. Tupac was still alive. Biggie was still alive. It was a monster year.
Yeah.
Shaq is in Atlanta in a restaurant at 11:30 at night. ESPN goes live to announce it with Jerry West. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? Jerry West is in the club in Atlanta? Atlanta in 96. Freak Nick is on and popping. Let's not get this twisted. Jerry West is in Freak Nick in Atlanta to sign Shaq. I'm spreading the rumors. That was amazing. Of course, Kobe gets drafted. We don't know what they are, but Allen Iverson gets drafted. There's a newfound buzz with the league coming in, and Shaq is leading the way with the Lakers. Yeah, big time. That's a
big time summer. The 96 draft, Shaq. We just talked about what the Knicks did in that 96 summer. Like, that was a big summer for the league, for sure.
And I think Shaq is involved in another one when the Lakers finally broke up, showed Kobe and Shaq. That was major. It was like, all right, y'all fighting still. And then it's like, yo, it's either him or me. That was like this too. Like, y'all really fighting in public? Yeah. Kobe say, get him out of here. It's either him or me. Oh, shit. They traded Shaq. Damn. I kind of can't be mad at that. Kobe's a young dog. You got to go, Shaq. Is what it is. Jerry Buss sat him down. He had to go. So Shaq's a part of two major things, but I don't know. The Shaq and Kobe thing was bigger than Shaq going to the Lakers. And it was closer to that confusion we felt right now. Shaq and Kobe fighting like this. And I'm not sure if anywhere between, let's say, Shaq leaving the Lakers or getting traded by the Lakers and the LeBron decision. I don't know if anything in between that really rocked the game. Maybe Carmelo. That came afterwards.
The decision, people, I was just talking to my man, and people forget that was actually a trade. Like, there was a trade that was done between Miami and Cleveland. He didn't just flat out sign with them. So obviously he had to be on board and all that. But I never forget that shit. I'm sure y'all remember that vividly too, watching that on TV. And we're like, that's something that we've never seen before. So it almost came off. Because I will be honest, at that time, I was one of LeBron James's biggest haters. I did not like him. I did not think he was a great basketball player. I would go at it with people about who he was as a ball player. Obviously, in complete denial, but that's the side I was on at that time. And so for him to do that, I was like, "Who is this nigga? Who the nerve of you that you gonna have a show? You're gonna have a show. We gonna watch. You're gonna sit us down and tell us what you're gonna do. You're not like that. Who the fuck?" So it was. I remember that. Like it pissed me off. But as I think back on it, that was some historic shit. Like that was some like.
Oh boy,
that was some fly shit.
Yeah. Did you feel that because you were the biggest LeBron hater out there? Probably second to Skip Bayless. But how did you feel when the decision happened?
To be honest, I I didn't see why everybody was upset on how he did it. Honestly, at that point, I'm so much of a Knicks fan, I didn't even care. I just was hoping it didn't work because your ass is in the East. And you get what I mean? Like, you in the East. So I'm going, please let this shit be a failure. But I the magnitude of that was crazy. And I think us as fans and the people, we made it bigger than what it was. I don't think he expected it to go crazy like that. And but that was a part of sports history that both of y'all agree that shit was crazy. And it was like you said, Flea, like, why is this getting so much attention like this? Like, what the? And until this day, that shit was crazy. And I remember it, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then when they did the whole thing where, you know, not one, not two, not three, and they kind of made a concert out of it, I said, okay, I get it now. But listen, man, you even go to you even go to Barkley getting traded to Phoenix. Remember, like, these are just moments in sports history that's like, what? And then, you know, it works. They get to the finals. Of course, they lose to Chicago, but it's like it's so many great moments in sports, well, NBA history that was so legendary. But this guy LeBron, he did it again, fellas. He finds a way to just think about this move here, right? If this works out, does this trump Kevin Durant going to Golden State?
No. Which is another big moment. Like, that was the next big moment for us. Was Kevin Durant?
That's why I did that.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. You think Luka going to Lakers trumps Golden State? I don't.
No. I'm not. No. I'm not. Hold on, Flea. Before you cook, I'm not comparing. This is not about Luka and Kevin Durant. I'm saying if this works, my point is right because we all. Some people think Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James. I know people that feel like that, right?
Right.
What I'm saying is, it just seems like KD is always going to be in this man's shadow. And every time we think KD does something legendary, a la Golden State, Brooklyn, now Phoenix, and Brooklyn and Phoenix, however people want to look at it, whatever excuse y'all want to make, it failed. Now you have LeBron once again trumping KD. And I'm saying, if this works, Flea, we're going to have a real conversation. Y'all know when I take my glasses off, I get aggravated. Flea, if this man wins another title with the Lakers,
or two,
the GOAT conversation. No, to me, he ain't even got to win two. If he wins one, Michael Jordan is in trouble. Hold on, Fabian. From real Michael Jordan stands, if LeBron James, remember, this is my basketball cat. This is no Knicks. This is no LeBron hater. This is no Michael Jordan. This is none of that. If LeBron James wins another title playing at this level, at this age, Michael Jordan is in trouble. Simple and plain. And Flea, if he gets Finals MVP, bro, I'm going there hiding.
I thought he was asking if the magnitude of Kevin Durant going to the Warriors is as big as this, and I don't know which one was bigger, but this was more confusing to me.
This is big.
Kevin Durant was a 4-time scoring champion going to a team that just won 73 games, right? Think about what you're putting together like that. When that shit happened, we all was like, obviously they just lost to them in the playoffs that same year. But when that happened, I was like, wait, huh? No. Kevin, not KD, Kevin. Kevin, you did this, Kevin? Kevin, you didn't do this, Kevin. Come on, Kev. Nah. So that takes a little bit off of it, right? Because there was some other sauce on top of that with Kev going to Golden State. It was the location too, right? Obviously, like I said, 4-time scoring title winner and the best team in the league, you know, coming out of the NBA finals, like them coming together, yeah. But it was also that team that put a little sauce on it. Luka going to the Lakers, you know, if they win, yes, the impact will have the same effect, if not more. You're talking about two top 10 level players just getting traded for each other in the same season. It's not an off-season move. People don't get 2 or 3 months to digest this, and then we go into the training camp, and then we get to see what stuff looks like. No, this happened in real time. Season is going on. Strap, buckle up, because it's on. We ready to rock. Like, there was a couple takeaways. Last night I was lit, literally and figuratively, so I ain't really get off the way I wanted to get off. But right now, after sleeping on it, like, there's a couple of different takeaways I get from this move. One of them, big shout out to Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka. This is some ballsy shit. I don't care what nobody says. Like, find me some other GMs that's really with doing what they did, right? Mid-season, making this happen. I don't see a lot of guys doing this. I don't see this happening the same way it happened, in terms of there's no chirping, right? There was nothing in the grapevine. I don't know anybody that really heard anything about this. So that part of it is like, it's kind of ill. Whatever they did to keep that under wraps was kind of ill. Secondly, for me, the Dallas Mavericks must really fucking hate Luka Doncic. Like, they must really, really, really dislike this dude for them to go ahead and trade him at 25 years old. We're talking about a multiple-time first-team All-NBA player. We're talking about a guy that is 1, 2, 3 best player in the league when healthy. We're talking about a guy that hopefully he gets in shape. He could be the head and shoulders best player in the league. They traded you, dog. If this doesn't make him think, really sit down and think like, yo, I got to get my shit together, whatever that is, about my game. These niggas gave up on a 25-year-old superstar. We could look at Dallas and say they're crazy, they bugging, they did some wild shit. Whatever your opinion is on that, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is, they stood on something. They stood on something. They not feeling the fact that this dude doesn't care about his conditioning. They don't like the fact that he's not committed on defense. They don't think that they can win with you. And they don't give a fuck who you are. We talking about one of the best players in the league. They got you out of here. So for me, that's like the biggest thing for me. What you gonna do now, Luka? How do you respond now? You playing next to arguably the best player of all time in LeBron James. How do you respond? What you gonna do? So, and lastly, Dallas in the short term, Dallas makes out, right? They put themselves in a great position to be title contenders. Anthony Davis, generational talent on the defensive end. They now are loaded up to really make a run at this for this year and next year. But that's the thing for me. They gotta win. Like, for me, they gotta win. I feel like Anthony Davis is gonna be out of the league by the time Luka is 30. So that makes the trade look even worse. So
can I say something, Fabian, real quick? And I've been alluding to this for a long time, y'all. I don't think AD was ever happy in LA. I think I said this to y'all a while ago. From the Pelicans, he wanted to go to Chicago because that's his hometown. He signed a Clutch, and I think Clutch forced him to go to LA. I think Flea, now that he's somewhere where he can actually be himself. You got to remember, him and Kyrie is going to mesh. It's going to click. He's going to be able to get all the shots he wants. Because remember, the guys he's playing with is dogs, from Gat, the Lively, Grimes. You know, those guys don't need, right, PJ. Like, so now you're in a situation where you're in a great city, the taxes is different, and you're playing with guys that's going to allow you to be you. Like he said, I don't want to play the 5. However we want to feel about that and think he's soft and this and that, all right, cool. But now he's over there where he doesn't have to play the 5. He's going to be the best 4 man in the NBA. I think this is going to revive his career. And, I love your basketball mind, Flea. I know, me. I don't know nobody that maybe knows as much as you and smart as you as far as when it comes to basketball. But I don't think his career is going to be over in 3 to 4 years. I think this revives him, and I think he's got a long time. Like I said, as long as everybody can stay healthy, I think Dallas probably made the best trade in NBA history. I know that sounds crazy, but I always thought, I'm not going to say Luka's overrated, but a guy that don't want to stay in shape, plays literally no defense, doesn't make anybody better, doesn't care about making anybody better. He's James Harden on steroids. Like, let's call it what it is.
If we just throw the alley-oop to Fabian real quick, because Fabian said this to me earlier, and I thought, we know it, but we just simply forget about it and don't add it into the equation. Rick Carlisle won a championship with Dallas. He gets a generational talent in Luka Doncic. He don't want to coach that dude. He got up out of there. Donnie Nelson retired. He said, I don't even want to be around no more. Let me get up out of here. I don't want to be around no more. Porzingis, they bring him in. We forget about trying to make that work. Right? That didn't work for somehow. Like, Luka got to take some of this shit personal, man. Luka got to take some of this shit personal, Fabian. He got to step. He got to look himself in the mirror. This got to be a hit at your ego as well. Okay, you going to LA, cool, but the organization gave up on you. That says a lot. That says a lot.
Add to that the reason why Carlisle left and Donnie Nelson Jr. retires, because Mark Cuban said, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, catch me at my lawyer's office prepping for a divorce. In 2020, he said that. That sounds like Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban sounds like AllBall. So this is shout out to my guy Joe Rose, biggest Mavericks fan, biggest Dirk fan. He said, I ain't no Mavericks fan, I'm a Luka fan. I'm like, oh God. But he made a great point about this. He said, yo, if it was Mark Cuban, I'd be more upset. But it's not. He gave up the ownership. It's the new crew. I don't know them like that. They're the ones that they don't have to be loyal to Luka anymore. Cuban was the one that was loyal to Luka Doncic. So him going to the Lakers has always been rumored. That was always rumored, and I thought was far-fetched. And again, I always go back to AllBall, like, yo, nobody wants to play but anywhere but LA and New York. We know this. It's nothing like playing in LA and New York. This is where all the stars go. Come on now. And Luka just answered that. We're not talking about the fact that maybe Luka did want to go to LA. Nobody wants to talk about that. Jason Kidd, there's no way possible. Nico Harrison, you're sitting down there with these trades. We'll get to that in a second. And Jason Kidd didn't know about this. You didn't ask Jason Kidd about Luka Doncic. Yo, you sure he's all right? How do you feel about him in the future? You ask me certain questions, I'm going to start to question you on why you're asking me that in the first place. Is Luka going to be around much? And I don't think Jason Kidd gave him the answer that he wanted to hear anyway. Luka's fat. I don't know if we can win a championship playing defense like that. And I can't control him. He's bitching at the ref too much. Remember, Brian Windhorst went on TV after the finals game like, yo, this is disastrous. They don't. If Luka wants to take himself seriously, he can't be doing this. That was like a report from out of the locker room, like, yo, man, grow up. Yes, he's 25. And the other thing with this, for me, that nobody talks about, and I wish him the best, Flea, before you go off on me. Luka Doncic cannot suffer any major injuries. He's not LeBron. That's why I hate the LeBron comparisons. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not one of these athletes. Something happens to him, the Mavericks look at it like, yo, fuck it. We might as well go for the injury-prone star, super defender, championship-level defense, possibly. If Derek Lively's there, that's a championship-level defense. We might as well go for this because this guy ain't playing none of that shit in the championship when it mattered most.
But let me ask you two guys a question, and the real GP beat me to it, and that's where I was going. Big shout out to the real GP. But why was it Anthony Davis? Why was it that for Dallas? Y'all don't feel like y'all don't feel like Dallas could have gotten more back for Luka, the 25-year-old superstar, one of the best players in the world, Luka Doncic? You couldn't have got more back than Anthony Davis and Max Christie? The Spurs just went and got Fox for nothing. You couldn't have called the Spurs and got Fox and Sabonis in Dallas for Luka. You couldn't have called OKC, got some of them young guys and Chet. You couldn't have called. You know, I'm missing. I'm obviously missing some other teams, but there are plenty of other teams that you could have called and said, "Yo, Luka's available. What do y'all have for me?" Why was Anthony Davis the guy?
Y'all ready for this? Y'all might disagree, but this is how I honestly feel. Anthony Davis is better than Luka Doncic. Luka ain't win no championship. Luka ain't got no MVPs. Anthony Davis has a championship. Anthony Davis, when they won, proved he was one of the better players in the NBA. We seen what Anthony Davis could be when the ball is in his hands. We seen him in the first couple games in the NBA. Everybody thought he made that turn. That's who he's going to be in Dallas. I feel Dallas got the better player. I know everybody loves Luka, but if we put on the board, who would you rather have? Anthony Davis is 7 foot. You can put the ball in his hands. He can get his own shot. He can knock down the mid-range. He can knock down a three. Oh, and let's not even talk about defense. Probably the best defensive player in the game. What are we going to say about Luka? Okay, offensively, out of this world. Okay, he averages 30. Anthony Davis averages 25. What's the difference? Look at the defensive end. I know people don't want to hear this, and I know they think I'm crazy, but I think Anthony Davis is a better basketball player overall than Luka Doncic. So I think Flea, Dallas, because you got to really think about it. Okay, what are you going to trade Luka for? Ant-Man? What are you going to, like you said, if you get Fox and Sabonis, I don't think that was going to happen. I get what you're saying, but I think all the players that Dallas could have traded for, none of them is better than Anthony Davis. None of them is proven. None of them is, like I said, now unless you're going to get guys like Giannis, the Joker, then okay, I get that to you. But AD is a champion, and once again, we seen when he's at the height, when he's on top of his game, he's the best player in the NBA. And I told y'all this a long time ago. The problem with the Lakers is with Anthony Davis. I kept telling y'all this. LeBron James, he is built to be a leader. He will never hand over the keys. Never.
Who's got better basketball going forward? Who's got the best basketball going forward? AD or Luka going forward?
You got to go with 3 or 4 years because you can't go 10 years with Anthony Davis.
I mean, so let's do that window.
Yeah, because the next 3 or 4 years, you could argue either one, but I'm with AllBall on this because everyone's gonna say we're crazy, but for the next 3 or 4 years, sticking to your projection, Flea, bro, that short window, they were in the championship last year. All Anthony Davis complained about his whole career is I don't have no centers. How did the Lakers get to the championship in the bubble and win? They had 2 centers behind him, real centers. Now I got Kyrie. I don't have to play the 5. Nobody could switch on the perimeter and to the basket and the paint like Anthony Davis. Maybe in NBA history. Historical. We ain't talking about today. We talking about the last 75 years. I really believe in what they're doing. They really looked at Kyrie's former team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and go, oh, that shit works. Oh, that's how you beat Boston. Let's get a better version of Mobley and Jarrett Allen. We got one right here in LA available. I don't think this is bad. And the Mavericks have always done this. They've made a championship appearance one time at least in the last 3 decades since the 2000s, since Mark Cuban got there, by doing things like this. Oh, all right, we lost Nash, no problem. Still went to the finals. We forgetting this? Still went to the finals. 2011, we re-upped Tyson Chandler, got Jason Kidd in there. Sean Marion, they loaded up for real. They finally won the finals. Then they came back last year and did it all over again. Some way, somehow, we give Miami that credit that Dallas kind of deserves too. They might suck for a couple years, but damn, they come out of nowhere. They lost Tyson Chandler. They really messed up that Dirk era in Dallas, by the way. But I digress. I like this trade for them in the short term. It's not meant for 10 years from now. Anthony Davis, to what you said earlier, Flea, by the time Doncic's contract is over, Davis ain't going to be in this league anyway. That's not for this. We doing this for the next. Kyrie Irving is in his early 30s, mid 30s. This trade is not for 10 years from now. It's not for when Luka's 32. It's for when Kyrie and AD's 32.
You got to win now, though, for any of this to make sense. For any of this to make absolute sense, you got to win now. And I'm talking about now, meaning 1, 2, 3 seasons tops. Because after that, you starting to add age and attrition onto 2 guys who are naturally guys that don't stay fully healthy. Tell me the last time Anthony Davis, maybe aside from what was that last year, that was the first time in how long? He played 76 games, I think, right? That was the first time in forever. Tell me the last time Kyrie Irving can remain healthy. He's had some Knicks this year. So what I'm saying is, as they get older, they're not LeBron. Like this thing LeBron is doing right now at 40 it's not normal. This is not regular. And it's not going to be every other guy in the league doing what he's doing. It's not going to happen. So but I'm just saying, if Dallas knows something that we don't know, like I told you, my brothers offline, they are extremely confident in what J. Kidd can do. They trust Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving together. And they're looking to win right now, meaning this year, next year, or the year after that. There's a 3-year window right now, and they're gonna have to get it done.
And they're under the different luxury tax or ball. I could see. I don't know if they can get a Jimmy Butler or whatever it is, but they can make another move. It seems like with Anthony Davis there, like, and just real quick, he's coming off the books in 3 seasons after making $60 million a year. Like this, like the Anthony Davis deal to me, it just makes the most sense for Dallas. And AllBall hit on the nose earlier, bro. That's a matchup problem for OKC. They don't rebound like that with Hartenstein and Chet. They can rebound, but these guys are bigger. These are some big boy. Gafford ain't no small dude. Lava ain't no little guy. Anthony Davis, they might tear OKC up.
Bro, listen, what Dallas just did, you know, that's what I told people earlier. Let's put our basketball hats on. Forget who you're a fan or favorite of, right? Forget your favorite team, your favorite player. If we're looking at the Dallas Mavericks, they got Gafford, they got Lively, dogs, guys that can play, right? That can play their position. You bring in the AD. You still got Kyrie. Y'all got to remember, Kyrie now doesn't have to share the ball with Luka. We know what Kyrie is capable of in the playoffs and in the finals. We know it's been a long time, but they just came off of finals. Now you add a shooter like Clay, right? You still have Grimes, you still have PJ Washington. Listen, they are built to win a championship. And Flea, I agree. It has to work immediately. To me, the only thing that's going to stop this is injury. But if these guys can stay healthy, they are going to be a problem. And then we also have to look at, let's be realistic. Houston is not a threat. As young, you know what I mean? As good as they're playing, we all know, you know, they're young. They still have some time, right? Nobody's thinking about Sacramento. We already know Memphis, no disrespect. Y'all are not a threat to the top teams in the NBA, right? So now in the West, let's be realistic. The real only threat is OKC. Like I said, Denver plays no defense. Like I said, unless they make a move. So for me, I think this move for Dallas, listen, man, this is going to get scary. And when we see this team, God willing, we can see this team fully healthy on the floor. Watch what people are going to say. Watch what we are going to see. This shit is going to look ridiculous. Think about, like, this shit, because now they, from 1 through 8, Flea, they got legit guys. And Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis is able to play the 4 where he's most effective. The man keeps getting hurt because he's not a 5. What we keep saying about our guy Cat, once Mitch come back, once he could slide officially to the 4, bro, that's a whole different ball game. Anthony Davis knew what he wanted. He told them what he wanted. In Dallas, they seen the opening and they said, let's do it, because they have the right pieces. Because think about it, Luka doesn't make, he's not helping Gafford and Lively and them guys. Anthony Davis over there, bruh, this shit is about to get crazy, and I love it. I love it. But like I said, the Lakers, I think for them is great too. But people keep sleeping on the Dallas Mavericks, and people were sleeping on Fleet. I'll get off after this. The same thing people say about Cat, that's smut they try to put on his name. That's what they do to Anthony Davis. Now, yes, he's injury prone. Yes, at times he can seem soft. But when that young man is locked in and focused, bruh, he's the best player in the NBA. No 7-footer can do what he does. As great as Joker is on the defensive end, it's not even close. It's not even in the same atmosphere. I just think Dallas won this trade. Lakers won the trade too, but I think people need to give this trade a real chance, because don't think about Anthony Davis as like Barkley used to call him, jeans or whatever he used to make fun of him. Nah, this is going to be legit. Yeah, street clothes. This is going to be legit. And I think when guys get what they want, they tend to be more happier and play better basketball. And I think Anthony Davis got what he wanted. I don't think he wanted to be in LA. It's too much pressure, bro. It's too much pressure. You playing behind LeBron. You got guys like Kareem and Shaq that was there. Your whole game got to change, because we already know the king is the king. I think now he's in a situation where them guys is going to welcome him like open arms. And I think Kyrie is going, you know what I mean, holler at him. And I think they're going to be up, man. I love it. I love it.
There's I'll just put a bow on this. I don't know if you had anything else to say about it, Fabian, but if we really take a like real quick deep dive, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, and Jason Kidd are all champions. So to have all 4 of these guys in the locker room together, ready to rock and roll, that says a lot about what Dallas is really trying to put together over there. So I would love to see them be successful. I'm not saying they not. It's now.
Let me hold on. Can I please say this before I forget? Fleet, great point, right? And I want Fabian to respond to this. You know what else they all got in common? Kyrie and LeBron had some problems. Klay Thompson and LeBron got some problems. Because remember, they tried to backdoor. Listen, yeah, this may sound crazy. Anthony Davis now gets backdoored. Bruh, everybody has a chip on their shoulder now. What Golden State did to Klay, now what the Lakers did to AD from the outside looking in, and Kyrie Irving, we already know what the league tried to do to him. And we know what happened with Cleveland. That's what they got in common also, Flea. Listen, man. Them dudes just listen. They be talking to each other like, let's make them all pay for what they did to us. I think that's something too.
I think even though Houston, going back to the Rockets real quick, they're not ready yet because of youth. That's the only reason why. Then Amen Thompson looks like he's going to be a top 10 player in the league easily. He just looks crazy. But I got to look after this. Who plays in Texas the most times going forward in the season? Because the Texas tornado swing with San Antonio, the Rockets, and now the Dallas Mavericks is not going to be an easy task. That shit is tough if you're going out to Texas now. And it wasn't like that, but what, 10 years ago, whenever it was? This is tough, man. And part of the reason why is Luka Doncic going to the Lakers. I don't think he wanted to be in Dallas. I think he wanted to be with LA, fellas. And part of the thing was, to put a bow on it, as Flea says, I think Jason Kidd looked at Luka as like, bro, I can't defend the way I want to. And JJ Redick looks at Luka Doncic is like, everything I'm trying to get Anthony Davis to do, Luka Doncic does with ease. I don't care where you put him on that side of the court, on that side of the offense. He can make every pass I want Anthony Davis to make. I got Anthony Davis shooting way more 3-pointers a game. Well, this is the guy who shoots 3-pointers. This is the guy that can make passes from these 3-point shots. All you talk about is the mind of game stuff. A lot of the mind of game stuff, a lot of things he was running was like, oh, Luka could do that. All they compare Luka to is LeBron. Oh, yeah, LeBron did that when he was younger, which I don't always agree with. But why do we think this was a great move for the Lakers? AllBall.
For one, they secured their future. I don't see LeBron, even though, he tries to, say he can play till he's 45. I don't see that. If he could, kudos, because I'm definitely not a hater of, someone saying what they can do. But, once LeBron retires, let's say 2 years, let's say even if you go 3 years, cool. That frees up so much cap space. And now you have a superstar intact. And now that cap space, you can pair him with another superstar. And now we're back to the Showtime Lakers. The Lakers is an organization that's built on being great. Championships, being fun, being an attraction. Because if they don't make this move, okay, LeBron retires. You're left with AD. So for me, they have a guy that, business-wise, it makes 1,000% sense. AD ain't selling a whole bunch of jerseys. People are not going crazy over AD, but Luka, listen, man, people really love Luka. 2-3 years ago, we used to argue with dudes. People was already telling me Luka's better than Larry Bird. So for me, business-wise, it makes 1,000%. And gotta be honest, he is a great basketball player. He can play the game of basketball like a mug. So I think the Lakers, for once in a long time, made a very smart move. We have an opportunity to get someone that once LeBron James retires, he can take the rings and carry it. And if we don't win championships, at least we know we're going to sell out, we're going to make some money, and we're going to be an attraction. And I think with the Lakers, it's not only about championships. The Lakers don't want to be San Antonio Spurs. This is Showtime. This is LA, baby. We got to be popping. So I think that move was for that as well. So I think the Lakers made a very smart move. And I'm going to repeat it again. The cap space that's going to be left open once LeBron retires, they're going to be able to get another superstar. And now you can go imagine pairing a Luka with a Giannis, a Zion, a Ja Morant, a Anthony Edwards. They will be able to do that. So I just think the Lakers made themselves that much more attractive, and guys are going to be clamoring to go over there because, like I said, the way the money's going to be, even though the money is crazy now in the next couple of years. So I think the Lakers, they won in this trade as well, just for that reason alone. I don't think they have to win a championship, but I think everything else, this reminds me of something that Jerry Jones does. Y'all can sit there and complain about we ain't winning this much. But when you check that account, when you see that stadium full, you see everybody buying $30 hot dogs and $50 beers, and we leading and we headlining every sports channel, every back page, every social media platform. To me, that's what the Lakers is as well. They're not just content with winning. We want to win in style. And that started with Magic Johnson. So I think the Lakers made a smart move as well.
Lee, why do you think the Lakers made this move?
You probably look at the last couple of seasons and tell yourself this ride is over with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. If you're going to be honest with yourself, we've tried to see if this is going to work. And did it work at one point? Yes, we got a championship out of it. But the last 4 to 5 seasons, we've watched them, and it hasn't worked. So now you're trying to move on for the future. I salute the Lakers. I salute Rob Pelinka that he finally did something. People been clamoring for him to do something big at some point, and he finally did something huge, which is, something nobody would ever think he was going to do. trade Anthony Davis. And so now you bring in Luka Doncic, 25-year-old superstar, right? Already made. This follows the Laker way. Lakers always find a way to trade for a superstar, starting back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? The list goes on of the superstars that they trade for. So I think it was smart for them. I'm glad that they didn't feel handcuffed by LeBron, right? This move lets me know that they are thinking about what's going to happen after LeBron James retires or moves on or does whatever he decides to do. So it's good. And again, like I said before, I like the fact that, you know, these GMs and teams are showing a little balls and thinking about, you know, what they need to do going forward, as opposed to be hamstrung, you know, by some of these players that are really not, you know, committed to winning. Like OG always says, how many guys in the NBA right now could you count on your two hands are committed to wanting to win championships, or are just there to collect a check and just be out there enjoying the NBA lifestyle? So you got to be invested on, you know, who is like that. And I don't know if Luka is like that yet. So that's why I don't know if this is the greatest thing for the Lakers. But if you're gonna take a gamble on anything, it'll be Luka Doncic. So I'm not mad at that. I think think it secures JJ Redick's job as well. I was
just gonna say, talk about Pat Riley 2.0 and white magic.
I don't now. You do this now, bro. They're not gonna fire that dude. That dude is gonna have at least 3 to 5 years to figure out how to make it work with whatever they put around Luka Doncic. Because this is not over. They don't trade for Luka. He's gonna be ready within the next week or so. LeBron is playing some great basketball. He came into the Garden last night and dogged us, right? They gotta get it big. They can't go forward with just thinking. I keep hearing people talk about Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is a good basketball player. Jackson Hayes is not the starting center for you to be going forward to think you're gonna win a championship or even compete. I'm sorry, respectfully, he's not it. So there's another move that's got to happen. I don't know what that is, but another move got to happen. So
yo, old boy, you know what it is that Flea hates about us? Because we get very what's the word, like insensitive. Like we'll just say some crazy shit about a player, and Flea's little PC bullshit that he pulled right now, talking about Jackson Hayes is, you know, I'm not saying it. Get the Flea, he's not it. Period. Jackson Hayes. Who the fuck on the Lakers fans are talking about Jackson? If you talk about, don't ever. You got a Jackson Hayes jersey, unless you were part of his family. God bless you and your family, brother. But I think the Mavericks told the Lakers and the world, Luka Doncic is Peter Griffin, bro. And we're tired of trying to get this guy motivated, right? And the Lakers might think, oh no, this is kind of like Zion. Zion didn't want to be in New Orleans, and AllBall's been saying that for years. And Zion admitted it this season. I don't know how he didn't get fined. I don't know how nobody else got fined, but Zion said, I thought I'd be in New York by now, out of his own mouth. And it rocks with the whole Charles Barkley. I ate 3 pies of pizza for 3 hours so I don't get drafted by whoever it was, and Philly drafted him. It goes down the same trickle-down effect. Luka might be trying to be out of shape and all that because he won it out of Dallas. That has to be a thing. And the Lakers probably might buy into that. Yo, nah, we think he's good. So now this will be a major test on Luka Doncic. Are you really that dude? Because LeBron, we can say what we want. We've called him soft before. Plenty of NBA players have called him soft before. But the one thing we've never said about LeBron was that he doesn't work hard. There's no way he doesn't work hard and get to this level. He will sniff this out of Luka Doncic. Like, yo, he ain't that dude, bro. He ain't that dude. He's not ready to get up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. He's not going to do what it takes to be the Kobe's, the LeBrons of the world. That's a different level of motivation you have to have. And that is the guy you want to be around, regardless of how we feel about LeBron James. And again, I think something to your point, Flea, JJ Redick, Luka Doncic, he's going to have no excuses. He's going to have no excuses. I didn't like him babying LeBron and the Bronny situation, the Lakers situation. This guy's a big baby at the end of the day. You had basically 2 coaches and 2 GMs give up on him. A star player, JJ Redick, you're supposed to be this big dog. I want to see you give that attitude to Luka Doncic.
Well, you know, I'm gonna have to apologize to Fabian and to JJ Redick. Thus far, Flea, I don't think if they didn't make this move, JJ Redick was going to get fired. He's doing a decent job. They're over 500 by probably 6-7 games. They're the 5th seed. They're doing better than what I thought. But let me just say this real quick. I don't know if it's true or not that nobody didn't know, but I'm glad because I don't think an organization has to tell anybody what they're doing. We all have jobs. Y'all think our supervisors or the person that owns the company is gonna come and go, hey, AllBall, hey, Flea, hey, Fabe, I'm gonna bring in this new employee. Let me see what y'all think. No, we're gonna walk in work one day and it's gonna be a mug or a female. You're gonna be like, who the hell is this? Well, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. I just got hired here. These owners and GMs don't owe these players anything. So I'm just glad that for the first time in a long time, an organization said we're going to make the right move for the organization because we think this is what's best for us to win a championship. And for me, that's what I love about that, Fleet. Now, you know, they say nobody knew. I don't know if that's true or not. But to have the balls, like Fleet said, to trade Luka, to me, that puts everybody on notice that any of y'all can go. Any of y'all can go if you don't step up and play your part and play up to par. Because a lot of these players, man, no disrespect, I don't see 100%. They're lazy, settling for 3-point shots. So for me, I love this move, and I think it put the NBA on notice. That's why everybody is shocked because a lot of these guys think they're so great that they can never be traded. And I think, you know, what the Dallas Mavericks did was legendary. I love it.
Yo, Flea, when is the only time people claim they don't know shit happen? Like some shit go down, everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what happened. I ain't see nothing.
When they know.
Let's get the fuck out of here, Jason Kidd. He's sitting down next to Nico Harrison with the straight face.
Yeah, it's I'll say this. I don't think that any of this was orchestrated by LeBron James. As in the past, he's had his hands on, you know, a lot of different deals. Yeah, a lot of different deals. Like Westbrook, the list goes on. You know, we can even go back to his time in Cleveland, all that stuff. His hands is usually on a lot of this stuff. Now, personally, I don't think he's had his direct hands on this. But to tell me that Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka are the only 2 individuals that had any clue this was happening. Nico went and said this first started about 3 to 4 weeks ago over coffee. So let's just say y'all preliminary conversation started a month ago. You mean to tell me within that month, at no point, Pelinka or Harrison, 2 younger guys in this industry, told nobody in their space at all, and nobody in that space told somebody, and somebody in that space said, "You got it's raining. Don't piss on me. Come on.
Oh,
don't
boy.
do that."
Boy, let me add to that real quick. Let's just add to that real quick. Rich Paul on who would take Bronny James in the NBA draft. This is before he got drafted by the Lakers. Nico Harrison is like an uncle to Bronny. If the Lakers don't take him at 55, Dallas would take him at 58 and give him a guaranteed deal. Listen, 2 + 2 in my house equals 4. My son walks in here talking about 5. We got problems. This is crazy. These guys, come on. AllBall, if Flea made it to the league, that's your man. He got you running every single contract in the league. You not telling him, yo, I think Buddy's out. Impossible. LeBron didn't know.
This is going to sound crazy. Y'all know me. I always got to go against the grain. But for me, right now, it's believable. And let me just briefly explain. I think in some situations, you can't tell nobody because they may sway you to not make the move. I think I think telling LeBron or telling J Kidd, I don't think J Kidd doesn't like Luka Doncic. I disagree with anybody that says that. I think J Kidd loved Luka Doncic because he's a bigger version of him. And I think if they discuss it with people, I'm pretty sure J Kidd and whoever else will try to convince them, are you out your mind? And I think vice versa. I think moves like this have to be made in the dark where you don't tell nobody. Because if you tell somebody, it's almost like you're going to do something for yourself. You ever thought about doing something, and when you tell somebody, they damn near convince you not to do it, and then you don't do it, and then you realize, I should have did that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I could be wrong, but I think Pelinka and Nico, I honestly, no matter how close he is with Bronny and his family, I think this situation is, we'll deal with the consequences once the deal is done. And then we're explaining to them why we did this. I don't think nobody knew. Now, I agree, it's hard for a guy like LeBron and his magnitude not to know, but I honestly feel, because, hey, Flea, this is too crazy, bro. This don't make sense to nobody. If you tell LeBron James that, or if you tell J Kidd that, it don't make sense. Even if LeBron James goes, you know what, hell yeah, do that. You telling me J Kidd is going to be okay with trading Luka for AD? Flea, I don't think it makes sense to nobody. That's why you couldn't tell nobody. Because I guarantee you, they would talk you out of that. I think for the first time in a long time, God said, bunk that. We gonna make this shit happen. I think that's what happened.
Yo, Flea, hold on. AllBall made some real life parallels that are amazing. People can convince you of that. Like, that shit hit home. Because that has happened so many times in my life where your man or your girl or whoever's convinced you otherwise. Like, I should have fucking did that shit. But bitch, pause from the streets, dog. Fuck all that. You heard Cam. Like, this guy went on 60 Minutes and said, I learned the game from rolling the dice.
Well, where's the guys he rolled the dice? Where's the guys he rolled the dice with? He could say whatever he wanted to say.
He can't, AllBall. There's no way possible you go on to Taco Tuesdays and you ain't telling me about Anthony Davis. I'm smacking the taco out your hand.
Flea, right now, do a documentary on me. I got people that will come up on the screen and go, yeah, that nigga's a gambler. Rich Paul can say what he want.
AllBall, if you my man and you coming back to do AllBall TV, we going to do Knicks Rehab, and you ain't telling me Flea was leaving. There's some funny shit. You traded Flea for fish. I don't know. You ain't telling me that. It's not happening.
Hold on.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Fix that example, man. I love Fish.
That was terrible.
Fucking doing. Look, because Fish is gonna run with that. That's nasty.
Fish is family. That was terrible.
Now Fish is gonna go crazy. Baby, it's disgusting. Now Fish is gonna go crazy in the comments on us. Because you see what Bobby Brown did, right? You see what Bobby done. You see what Bobby has done.
But in all seriousness, AllBall, there's no way. That's his man. That's his man. I don't care what Nico Harrison told you. And Nico Harrison is family. That's Nike family. I don't believe it whatsoever. I just think, we got to keep it under wraps because they wanted to get the deal done. Like you said earlier, who are you really trading Luka for? And they really believe, like, I'm with you. AD's I think he's the guy. That's it. But there's no need to talk about it. And let's not forget my final point. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring this shit up. We brought LeBron's decision up. This is the new decision, but it's in reverse. Remember, they got rid of all the superstars who do whatever they want. You got to get locked in. You can't just sign wherever you want anymore. This is the GMs telling everybody, no, we're back in control. That's what this officially is. LeBron set the tone for 10 years. Well, guess what? Which one of you guys got control now? Nobody. Wemby, you a big dog. You're not going to make no decisions. We are. That's what I think last night was. Sometimes certain things in our life is so shocking and it's confusing. You're like, what the? Then the smoke clears and you go, what's really going on here? And I think what's happening is the NBA is going global. They're going to sell them Luka jerseys from Ireland to Mongolia. That's what they want. And they want to be in control of the players. They do not want them going wherever they want to go around selling jerseys in Saudi Arabia. Not happening. They want to be in full control of their teams now. And I think this was the first marker to reverse the decision that LeBron originally made, 14 years ago, ironically.
OG, let me ask a question. And we could wrap this part of it. Let me ask a question. I mentioned this to Fabian earlier.
I just see
they go crazy. They go crazy.
I just see Fish's comment. It was straight up trade. I'm hanging up the phone.
He said, I need 10 first-round picks. I can't give traded straight up.
What up, Fish?
Yeah, they go crazy. No. In all seriousness, though, 4 teams had a shot at the NBA Finals last year. The 2 teams that made it was the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Obviously, the Boston Celtics won the championship, right? But I mentioned this to Fabian earlier, and I said the 2 teams that made the Western Conference Finals last season, in the last 6 months, have made super changes to their teams. Minnesota traded their second best player in Karl Anthony Towns, and now Dallas has traded arguably their best player, right? Does that say something about those 2 teams? Does that say something about how good Boston is? Does that say something about just this window of opportunity for all the teams in the NBA to be able to win? What do you make from the 2 teams that made the Western Conference Finals last year making huge changes before they even reached the following year's playoffs?
Well, I think, for one, I think it has something to do with money. Minnesota didn't want to pay Cat. And you got to remember, Luka, I think his contract could have been 365, close to 400.
Yeah.
Right, 350. And I think a lot of teams, is ducking that smoke. Minnesota thought Cat wasn't worth that. And I think Dallas thinks Luka isn't worth that. And they both, my opinion, made huge mistakes. Like I said, I like the Anthony Davis trade, but if we're just talking about teams having great players and superstars, we see what Cat looks like now. Mm-hmm. We're about to see what Luka is going to look like in LA. So, I think those organizations at that time isn't ran the right way, because you have to give guys the money if they're worth it. I think Cat was worth the money for Minnesota. I think Luka is worth the money for Dallas. So I think money played a big part, because it's tough to go get this guy 350, and that's not guaranteed the title. Remember, Luka's not guaranteed to be a champion or MVP candidate. None of that.
He's fat. He's fat.
But no, and I'm gonna say this. I agree, but no matter how out of shape and how fat he is, when he's on the floor, he's the best player in the NBA.
For sure. And
they got to a championship. Like, we see what he's capable of. So for me, that was a great question. Yo, man, these teams, they are jumping the gun. Guys are getting paid that don't supposed to get paid, and the guys that supposed to get paid, teams are passing on them. Minnesota made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Now, Dallas didn't make a huge mistake, because look what they got back. That's why I say, to me, this is the first time that I think in NBA history where you get equal value. So, guys don't want to pay them guys, man.
And they're close to it. Yeah.
I agree with Flea. I don't know if you gave your opinion, but I think that championship, it sent a message to the Mavericks. Like, at some point, you sitting down and you're going, yo, does he have what it takes? Jason Kidd's been around all of the greats. He's been around all the greats. Kyrie Irving's been around LeBron. He's got Kevin Durant. He's been around everybody.
Yeah, but hold on, just real quick. How can J Kidd say, I don't know if he has what it takes, and we was just in the finals?
Because now you're in the finals, and it's like, that's not promised every year. Someone like Luka is supposed to help make that happen, but bro, I'm dead serious. He can't suffer any major injuries. You're going up against that. And then on top of that, what are you doing to avoid these injuries? How are you coming in out of shape, bro? We see it with like that shit is gonna, you're playing Russian roulette at a certain point. Then on top of that, when you do play, all you're doing is bitching at the refs and you don't play defense. So now we got to make up for you playing defense and you yelling at Gafford like that. You setting the bad, like I got to make up for a lot of shit for you. You're not LeBron, which was my problem since LeBron made the decision.
Yeah,
a lot of you guys think you're LeBron and you're not LeBron. He's a two-way freak of nature, damn near the best player of all time. You're not that guy. So if you're not that, damn, we got AD over here. He could make up for a lot of the defense that Luka's missing, some of the offense, and then we just need a couple players around them to compete with Boston. I think the Boston thing really affected them. It had to have. Because if it ain't Boston, can you compete with OKC? Can you compete with Cleveland?
Yeah, but we gotta be fair. You know, players get away with what they get away with because they're allowed to get away with it. Be a tough coach, be a tough organization, and don't allow players to get away with what they're able to get away with. Why is he out of shape?
But how do you know? How do you know they haven't tried?
And that's it right there. I think we're talking about, what are we talking about right now? 6 years? How long has he been in Dallas now? So we're not talking about a 1 or 2 year thing where we just been trying to figure out when the light switch is going to go off and Luka's actually going to give a fuck about being in shape and taking care of his body. This is something that's been ongoing for years now. Like I said, other coaches, other GMs have walked out the door and said, I don't care how great this dude is. I'm not dealing with this shit. You can have that. And now they finally said, all right, enough is enough. We can't win with that.
I think him being out of shape, I think people's overrating that. I don't want to go into that.
Fat,
I know it's getting late.
He's fat. Look at him in his jersey. Look how he moves. He's fat.
But also, ball, like even thanks for that nostalgic. Thanks for that. Cuban was kissing his behind. That's a part of it too. Like now it's a new change. Cuban's not there, and Jason Kidd and Nico got a new owner there, and the new owner might be like, "Yo, is this guy really worth it?" Like we're hearing a lot of stuff. Why is he always hurt? You have new ownership to answer to us that's asking you questions. Not Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is willing to hitch to the wagon of Luka Doncic. It's different people asking you questions now. I think that has to affect Luka. So now they're saying, "Yo, we can't. You probably better off without me, bro. Just go to LA, and if you like that, go prove it out there in LA, because there's no better place to prove it. The Los Angeles Lakers brand around the world is just either you're going to be exposed or you're going to be the top two guy you're supposed to be. Because as of right now, he should be in a conversation with Joker and Giannis and them, but he's barely making it.
Nah, like I said, I disagree with that. He's up
you
there.
Think he's as good as the Joker?
Who? Luka?
Yeah.
I mean, every year when they bring up who's going to win MVP, his name is brought up,
and he never does it. OG,
I know.
That's it right there. He never. This is 4 years in a row. They're saying Luka is going to be a favorite for MVP, and you know why he can't do it? Because he doesn't make it through a season giving a fuck about everything that goes with playing basketball.
Agree. I agree. I'm not here to argue that, but if you asking me, is he just as good as some of the players you name? Yes, he is. But I still think Dallas did the right thing because they're thinking of the organization and the team. And I think a lot of teams need to look at this and start following suit, because between the organizations, the GMs, and the coaches, everybody is soft today. Not only the game itself, but everybody's soft. You can't talk to nobody. The players have all the power. Like y'all said, I got to talk to y'all before I make a trade. Man, you don't get out of here. I own this joint. This is my job to do this. So for me, Luka and a lot of players are able to get away with not staying in shape, talking to people crazy, or not loving the game, or just certain things, because everybody is soft. Everybody is soft. So I think this is the first time we've seen in a long time where an organization, whether people believe that, they knew or not, bro, we traded, like you said, Fleet, a top 5 player in the NBA. Our best player. A guy that people revere. And You would never, if you put up a poll and said the Dallas Mavericks would trade Luka Doncic, forget who they trade him for, just period. That poll would probably be 0%. We would never believe that guy would be traded, and let alone for Anthony Davis, who everybody shits on. So I'm just glad somebody showed the balls to say we're gonna do what we think is best for the team.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't agree that the Boston Celtics had something to do with the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, all these guys changing the makeup. The Knicks changed their makeup of their team. I mean, Ihart left, but you don't think the Celtics affected that?
Just my honest opinion, nah, no.
I don't think you answered your own question, Flea. If the Celtics affected those teams, the makeup of those teams.
I mean, I just think that the window is so wide open. For me, when I look at the Celtics, I watched them today. I was telling OG I was watching them. They went down 26. And watching the game, my man is like, these dudes don't care. They just waiting for the playoffs because they are just that good. And they went down 26 and they flipped the switch and came back on Philly. Yes, Philly is down all Paul George, Embiid, but the way they walked Philly down, the way they walked them down 25 was crazy to me, right? And so that shows that, you know, I don't like teams that like turn it off and on. I like the teams that stay consistent, that put a foot on your neck no matter who you playing.
Well, it's 82 games.
Right, but it is a long season. We in the, you know, getting close to the All-Star break. Everybody's probably is ready for the break. And so, you know, there are going to be some games and you look at some of these good teams, you're like, yo, what the hell are they doing? But in terms of all these other teams, they're looking at, in my opinion, they're looking at the Celtics like they are beatable. So let's do what we need to do to be in a position to compete with them. A la the Knicks, a la the Cavaliers, OKC, now Dallas. For me, there's only 2 contending teams in the Western Conference now to come out. And that's the same teams that was last year. I mean, aside from Minnesota, but OKC and Dallas. No other team for me is ready to win an NBA championship. And that includes the Lakers. I don't think that they're ready yet.
Exactly. One more thing on ball before we go. I wanted to say this. What the hell's gonna happen with Clutch Sports? Is this the beginning of the end? Is it the beginning of a new beginning? Because to me, this is like, whether you believe LeBron knew or not, that's still a major thing for him not to know, if you believe that. And it's still a major thing for him to know that, like, yo, I'm not in control of the player that I got on my team. You're gonna get Luka. Okay, I'm cool with that. But that's also the Lakers going, he ain't a clutch guy. And act up if you want to, LeBron. We got Zion out there. We got Giannis out there. There's a lot of guys we might want to pair up with Luka and get your ass up out of here and get rid of you and your buddy Rich Paul. Or the other conspiracy is tinfoil hat. 3 seasons from now, if I'm not mistaken, the Vegas team is supposed to be ready out there. The Vegas franchise in the NBA is supposed to be ready. And LeBron has shown interest. I can't see why. You get cool with Luka. You get cool with JJ Redick. And Mark Cuban already said he would love to own a team with LeBron James out there in Vegas. He wouldn't mind. So I can see Clutch going in that either or. Like they're kind of done for, or they're getting ready to own a team.
Being honest, I don't know what. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care about Clutch. No, because you know, Clutch do some things that I don't agree with. They listen, man.
Oh shit!
I'm not gonna say Clutch is.
Man.
I'm not gonna say Clutch is over with, but I really don't care too much about what Clutch does. Just to be honest with you, I don't like how they move at times. I don't like how they just are able to just do whatever they want. Like they blatantly just do a lot of things that's just like, how is that able to happen? As far as the Vegas thing, the NBA needs 2-3 more teams. It's too many players now. It's too many. These young men that's great in high school and college. So we all know LeBron is going to have something to do with the Vegas thing. Is Clutch Sports going to have a part of that? Yes. I don't think Clutch Sports is going nowhere at all. They're too huge. They're too huge, and they represent a lot of players. I commend them for getting young black men a lot of money. But I don't think Clutch is going nowhere. But just to be honest, you my brother. I don't care what Clutch does, bro. Honestly.
What you think, Flea? If you do care.
That shit was so funny, yo. He said, I don't care. Nah, man.
Who cares, Fabian? You and your stats.
I mean, listen, Clutch Sports is a new entity, right? Fairly new entity over the last, 10, 15 years. So I just think that this is only the beginning. I can very well see, Rich Paul segueing from an agent to a GM, from a GM to president of basketball operations, from president of basketball operations to some type of ownership. I can very well see him taking that route. Is that going to happen overnight in the next 5 years? No, but I could very well in the next 10 years we turn around and Rich Paul, found his way into that ownership club. I could very well see that happen, just the way things are starting to shake out. So I think that they just getting started for real. I don't think this is the end. I think this is just the beginning. Placing LeBron in Miami a couple years back, that was strategic. That was strategic by him, for family purposes, obviously propelling his sons to be able to, play at a high level. Whatever his wife is doing in her, business and personal life, right? Like, and then obviously Clutch Sports being in LA was strategic. So now, oh shit, we about to get an opportunity to put an ownership group together to, be a part of the Vegas franchise. Let's put our hands in that. Okay, now I'm gonna get chummy with Mark Cuban because he got the paper. So let me holler. So all of this shit is just strategic. And it's real low level for what we know because we don't know shit yet. But when we are able to get the real information, I think Clutch Sports is just laying the foundation for them to be big players in this, in the representing players world, the front office executive world, and in ownership. This is just the beginning.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the Lakers, what they do with LeBron and
AllBall suckers.
Are we live?
Big Flea, never the little one. Big Flea, never the little one.
My bad, AllBall. Almost 2 hours. I knew he was getting tired. And I still kept going.
I'm good, but it's just this guy up to his old tricks, man.
Listen.
I will get you back.
Listen. You're going to be really mad. I ain't got to go to work tomorrow. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.